At right now we're going to be doing my running back rankings for the 2023 NFL season. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. At number 40, we have Tyler Algier. Um, so basically, I wanted to get at least one running back from every team, right? But I know there's some teams that run a heavy two running back system, so I did really want to include those guys. And so I feel like the Falcons are going to be using a heavy two RB system with Bijan and Tyler Algier. So I wanted to include Tyler Algier in that thing. But with that said, I think Tyler Algier is the worst of the mainly featured running backs in the NFL. I know he kind of put up good stats last year, but I think he will have a lesser role this year. But I think he's still a pretty solid running back. Number 39, I have Khalil Herbert. The Bears. I mean, he put up decent stats last year. Bears did not have an amazing offensive line, so that didn't really help. And he was not the lead back for the majority of the season until Montgomery got hurt, I believe. But yeah, he's still a pretty solid running back. 38, Tank Bigsby. So obviously he's not the RB1 in Jacksonville, right? They got ETNA or whatever. I don't freaking know how to say his name, but they got Travis Etienne. This guy Tank Bigsby is a rookie, I believe, and but he's shown promise in preseason and training camp and stuff. He should be a solid RB2, and I think it will get a decent amount of playing time this season. 37, Ezekiel Elliott. I do not think that he is the RB1 in New England. I think it would be Ramondre Stevenson, right? But with that said, Ezekiel Elliott is not a horrible running back. He's definitely not a good RB1 in the league anymore, which is why he's not an RB1 in the league anymore, right? But he's probably going to get a couple goal line touchdowns because he's a big running back, okay, obviously. So he still has some power to get some short yard gains, like in goal line situations. So he could go for like 6 touchdowns this year. I wouldn't be surprised because he's going to get a lot of goal line and third down action, but not a lot outside of that because he's not fast and shifty and stuff. 36, DeAndre Swift. I really liked DeAndre Swift coming out of college, but last year he was very disappointing. He could not even his yards per rush or whatever were just so bad. He went horizontal when he needed to go in vertical, and that's why Jamal Williams overtook his job last year. So I don't really know how much of a role he's going to be getting in Philadelphia this year because they have Rashad Penny, who I think will play more than DeAndre Swift. But I still do think DeAndre Swift has some potential to be solid RB2 in that offense. Number 35, Brian Robinson. I thought he was good last year. He obviously didn't play a lot of the season because he was stabbed or something or shot or something, I think, right? So he was obviously recovering from that, but once he got back, he was actually a pretty solid running back. I just haven't seen enough to put him much higher than 35 right now. Number 34, Cam Akers. He's not a good he's not a great running back. He's a fine running back, serviceable, but he's not anyone you care about a lot. Like he's just fine. And he is the RB1, I believe, in Los Angeles. And he's number 34 on this list. So he's basically one of the worst RB1s in the league. But I still think he's a solid RB2, right? 33, David Montgomery. So he's in Detroit now, right? He's in Detroit. I believe he is the lead back in Detroit, but they also have Jahmyr Gibbs. But Gibbs will be getting a lot of time in as receiver as well. But, I think Montgomery will get a lot of the actual rushing load, especially in goal line situations and stuff. But he's like a solid RB2. He's definitely not a good RB1, but he's a solid RB2. Number 32, J.K. Dobbins. I've seen a lot of people that are really high on J.K. Dobbins, and I don't understand it because I have not seen anything from J.K. Dobbins that screams RB1 potential. Sure, he's technically an RB1, but he's not a good RB1. Like, he could be a good RB2, which is kind of what it was last year. I think it was more of an RB2 or like a dual head system. But I don't think. I think right now he is the RB1, not a dual head system, and I don't think he's going to be good as an RB1. I just really don't. 31, James Cook. So I think he is going to get a lot more opportunity to be the RB1 this year. Last year, he was a little overshined because it was his rookie season and he didn't get a lot of actual opportunity until later into the year. And he did not do particularly great with the opportunity he was given. But I think that having a year of experience and stuff will help him. And Devin Singletary is gone this year, so he should be given more opportunity to show what he can do as a lead running back in the system. Number 30, Jeff Wilson. So he's not the RB1 in Miami. That would be Raheem Mostert. But Jeff Wilson, he's fast. Any player in Miami Dolphins system is fast. That's just how Mike McDaniel likes his guys. Jeff Wilson is definitely fast. So that's basically it. He's fast, but he's not a great power running back. He can catch some, but he's not great. He's just solid. Yeah. 29, James Conner. I think he's good. I think he will definitely be one of the few players on Arizona Cardinals roster that is fantasy productive. Like, there's hardly anyone on the Arizona Cardinals that I would be okay with having on my fantasy football team, just because their quarterbacks suck, right? So I'm not really confident in any of their receivers. So James Conner is about the only guy on the team that I'd be confident in having. Maybe Zach Ertz, because, if they're going to target anybody, they're going to target the biggest guy on the field, like Zach Ertz in passing. James Conner's good at running the ball. I mean, he should get the very few touchdowns that the Cardinals do score this year. James Conner will have a good majority of those, I feel like. So, yeah. 28, Miles Sanders. I thought Miles Sanders was pretty good last year. That also could have been a lot because of the system in Philadelphia. Now he's the lead back in Carolina. Carolina's had good success with the running backs in the past, obviously with McCaffrey, but also with like Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. Like, they just stepped in and got yards and stuff. Like, they were productive somehow, even though no one who knew who they were until they got their first chance to play. So I think Miles Sanders could have a good year, but I don't think he's going to be anything too special. 27, Alexander Mattison. I'm really excited to see what this guy can do as the RB1 in Minnesota, because he's been an RB1 in a couple games where Dalvin Cook has been out, and at least fantasy-wise, he has been very reliable as the RB1 while Dalvin Cook is out. So now we get to see that for a whole season. I'd be interested to see what type of numbers he can produce with an extended workload. Number 26, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's probably more talented than number 26 running back, but he's a rookie and hasn't played a real NFL snap yet, so I'm not going to overreact too much, and I would really like to see how they utilize this dude, because I've seen things that he could get like 600 rushing yards and 600 receiving yards this season. And if he was able to do that, I think that'd be pretty cool. Give him that like Cordero Patterson type role. Like there's no real declaration between running back or receiver. He's basically both at times. So like, I think he has that potential, but right now I'm gonna just put him at a lower end right now because I haven't actually seen him play a game. Number 25, Jerick McKinnon. This guy balled out towards the end of last year. Towards like week 11 and on, this guy was just scoring touchdowns like no other. It was really crazy to watch. I am a Chiefs fan, so seeing this as a Chiefs fan, it was just it was shocking because like he's been like a good he's like a solid RB2 option, but at the end of last year he was looking like a true RB1 option, even though we had a better RB1 on our team with Isaiah Pacheco. But Jerick McKinnon, he has a lot more receiving ability, I believe, than Isaiah Pacheco, but Pacheco probably is still the receiver one, or the running back one, and he definitely is going to get more of the running back workload. Which brings me to number 24, which is Isaiah Pacheco. I think him and McKinnon are on about the same level of a player, just Pacheco is more of a running back, and McKinnon is more of a receiving back. That's basically the difference between the two. I think Pacheco's a little bit better. He's like, I don't really know. There's not a lot that separates them, in my opinion, but I'll just slightly lean Pacheco. Number 23, Javonte Williams. This guy, he was the RB1 last year, but they also had Melvin Gordon for a good majority of the season. And Melvin Gordon got a lot of workload in as an RB2. So I think it's going to be good to see Javonte Williams as a true RB1 this season. They have Samaje Perine as their RB2, but he's not going to get as much work as Melvin Gordon was getting last season. So Javonte Williams should be the lead guy there. And I think we can go for like 1,200 yards and like at the max probably. That'd be good for him to get the 1,200 yards, but reality, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, so I'm going to keep him lower at like 23, but he does go for that 1,200 yards. He could be a top 15 running back in the league. Number 22, Raheem Mostert. This guy is another one of the Dolphins running backs. He's fast, obviously. What puts him above, like significantly above Jeff Wilson for me, is just like his elusiveness. I think he's fast, but he's also elusive, and he is a better receiving back than him too. Oh shoot! Sorry, I messed it up. Okay, Jamal Williams at 21. Jamal Williams was like the touchdown leader last year, randomly. Like that just basically happened. No one really expected it to happen, but it did. I don't expect that to happen again this season. What is happening? Sorry. I don't know what's happening. I do not expect that to happen this year. He is clearly the RB2 behind Alvin Kamara this season. Alvin Kamara may or may not be playing a lot. He might be in some legal trouble and he's injured, but Alvin Kamara is without a doubt the more skilled player than Jamal Williams. But I think Jamal Williams will still have a very significant amount of workload and can definitely still get solid amount of productivity out of this season. Number 20 is A.J. Dillon. He has been an RB2 for his whole career, and he's definitely top 3 RB2 in the entire league. I know like Kareem Hunt was an RB2, and Alexander Mattison was an RB2, and A.J. Dillon. Those are the best 3 RB2s I can think of right off the top of my head. There's probably been more. Those guys are the ones I can think of, and A.J. Dillon right now, he's already above Mattison, so he's like currently, I think, the best RB2 in the league because Kareem Hunt's not on a team. Except, I guess, maybe the Jets with Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. But A.J. Dillon is incredibly talented as an RB2. He could be RB1 on at least probably half the teams in the league right now. I just think he's that good, right? Whenever if Aaron Jones misses a game, sometimes A.J. Dillon can go in and ball out. And even with Aaron Jones playing, A.J. Dillon still produces enough to be a solid fantasy option if you're struggling at running back. So that's pretty good. Number 19, Najee Harris. After this guy's rookie season, I thought he was going to be like a top 10 running back for sure, but last year was a little bit disappointing. And I expect this year to also be a lot like last year. Not that he's not a good running back. He's still pretty above average for sure. But there's not a lot special about him. He's really not very fast. He's supposed to be like more of a power running back. Coming from Alabama, most of their guys are power running backs, not exactly speed demons. I don't know. I would like him to be more elusive and stuff, but it just doesn't seem like it is right now. But number 19 seems to be where I think he's at right now. Number 18 is Kareem Hunt. Of course, this guy is not even on an NFL roster at this point, but he has been the most productive RB2 in the league for the last 2 or 3 seasons, however long he's been with the Browns, right? And even as an RB2, he's putting up better numbers than some of the RB1s in the league. That's because he's just incredibly talented. He's a very good running back. He just needs to sign to a team because this is kind of getting ridiculous. If I don't see Kareem Hunt suit up for a team this season, I'm going to be very disappointed as an NFL fan. Number 17, Bijan Robinson. This could be very high praise saying Bijan Robinson is better than Kareem Hunt and stuff, even though he has not played a single NFL snap. But in my opinion, all the intangibles are there. All the talent is there. You see it in in training camp. You saw it in some preseason. He is like insanely talented. He has all the potential to be a top 5 running back in the league this season. Especially with his work at receiving that he's probably going to be getting in. But I'm going to be cautious right now and label him at only 17. But at the end of the season, he could definitely be top 10 for sure, at the very least. Number 16, Travis Etienne. I do like Travis Etienne. I liked him in college. He's a good running back. He's fast. He's good moves. He's good receiving back. He's just overall a pretty talented running back. So that's really all I got to say about him. Number 15, Joe Mixon. He reminds me a lot like Travis Etienne, except with less receiving. They both get good amount of receiving work in, but I think Etienne's actually a better receiving back. Though Joe Mixon probably gets more reps. You know what I mean? But 15th best running back in the league. I think it's pretty solid. Yeah. Number 14, Ramondre Stevenson. He's obviously the RB1 in New England. Significantly better than Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think he's a top 10 running back in the league. He's not flashy at all. He doesn't put up insane touchdown numbers. He gets good amount of yards, I feel like, but not a lot of touchdowns. But also the Patriots in general did not get a lot of touchdowns last year. So that's probably part of it. He could definitely be a top 10 running back at the end of the season. Number 13, Dalvin Cook. This guy's an RB2 right now, and he's the 13th best running back in the league. That's insane. Him and Breece Hall are going to have a field day every single game. They both have the ability to get 1,000+ yards and 7+ touchdowns. Not that they both will. I could see either one of them doing that. I don't think both of them will do that just because that's absurd. But if either one of them could go for 1,000 yards and 7+ touchdowns easily, they're both Dalvin Cook. He's still insanely talented. The fact that he was cut from the Vikings, that's more of a money-saving move, I feel like, and they just want to move on to somebody like Alexander Mattison to see what he can do. But Dalvin Cook, he's still very elite. I think he's an elite running back, right? Maybe not elite anymore, but he's on the borderline of being an elite running back still at this point in his career, which is pretty good in my opinion. Number 12, Kenneth Walker. He was a rookie last year, right? He was an amazing rookie last year. He didn't start playing a lot until a few games into the season once they had some running backs get injured. With DJ Dallas and Rashad Penny, I believe, they got injured. And then Kenneth Walker was the only running back active, and he was balling out. I really like this dude. I think he can do a lot more of where he picked up where he left off last year and continue to build off of that and be a top 12 running back this year. I think that's pretty good for him. Number 11 is Aaron Jones. He's not really flashy, but you see the numbers that Aaron Jones puts up. He puts up pretty good numbers and stuff, but he's not I can't say something that makes me excited to watch Aaron Jones. He's just good at everything. And he puts up stats. Number 10 is Tony Pollard. This guy was absolutely electric last season. I'm not 100% sure if he can keep that up again this year. I would really like to see him do it. He is one of my favorite running backs in the entire league. Even though he's on the Cowboys, and I generally hate everybody on the Cowboys because it's the freaking Cowboys, but I do like their running backs with Tony Pollard and with Deuce Vaughn. I like Deuce Vaughn too. But Tony Pollard he's a great running back. He had a lot of touchdowns, and he basically overtook Ezekiel Elliott's job last year. Even though coming into the season, no one really thought that was going to happen. And he did it. And then he showed that he's a top 10 running back in the league. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. Number 9, Dameon Pierce. He was a rookie last year. But he put up really good numbers as a rookie last year. And I feel like a lot of people are not talking about Dameon Pierce enough as one of the best running backs in the league. He has the ability to put up 1,500 rushing yards this season. And 10 touchdowns. Because the Texans aren't going to be a very good team. So they're going to do a lot of running the ball, I feel like. And he's going to get a lot of the work. He could definitely be the main point of their offense and get a lot of stats this season. And I don't feel like anyone's actually talking about him as one of the premier running backs in the league. Number 8 is Breece Hall. Now, a lot of people are talking about Breece Hall as one of the premier backs in the league. I think him and Dameon Pierce are practically the same level of player. Some of that is because Breece Hall is coming off of ACL injury. If Breece Hall was not coming off the ACL injury, I would say he's probably a couple spots higher on this list. Maybe, but the guys ahead of him are still absolute dogs. But still, Breece Hall, number 8, seems pretty solid. I think it's good that they have Dalvin Cook for this year because you don't really want your second year running back coming off of ACL injury to have to be the primary guy and get like the absolute majority of the workload. I think he'll get the slight majority of the workload at running back, but Dalvin Cook's going to take a lot of his snaps, which is actually probably good for him so he can like recover and get back into the ease of things so that next year he can be the lead guy and not have to worry about his injury history because he's had a whole season to basically prepare for it. Number 7 is Austin Ekeler. He's a fantasy god. He's an elite level running back, but he's not the best running back in the league like his fantasy numbers might suggest. With that said, though, I think he is still an amazing player. He's amazing at running the ball and receiving the ball, and he gets a lot of touchdowns, which is insane. But he's not the most talented running back in the league, but he is among the best up there for sure. Number 6 is Jonathan Taylor. I really do like Jonathan Taylor. He had a little bit of a down year last year. Some of that was with injury troubles. I hope that he does not have any injury troubles this year, but also he might not even play for a while. He's already injured for the first 4 games of the season. Even though I don't know if he's technically injured, the Colts are doing some sketchy stuff with his injury reporting and stuff. But I think he should probably leave the Colts because there's not a lot of say that there's nothing pointing towards the fact that him and the Colts resolve their issues. So I think he needs to go somewhere else where he can, play and showcase his ability to somebody that cares about him. Number 5, Saquon Barkley. Obviously, Saquon is an elite level running back. He's not the best running back, but he's definitely among the best, right? For the Giants, he is the Giants' best player. He is more important than Daniel Jones to the Giants franchise, even though the Giants paid Daniel Jones so much money and franchise tag Saquon Barkley, which is stupid in my opinion, because Saquon, I think, is more valuable to your team than Daniel Jones. But whatever. Let's move on to number 4, Josh Jacobs. He had the best statistical season out of any running back last year. That's a fact. I don't think he replicates that, but I do think he can come close to replicating that. I don't think it was a one and done type of thing. I think he is one of the best running backs in the league and can continue to produce at a high level, just not quite as high as he did last season. Number 3, we have King Henry, Derrick Henry. 2-3 years ago, he was undeniably the best running back in the entire league. But recently, he has some mild injury history, which usually keeps him out one or a couple games a season. That's part of why he's down here at number 3, not number 1. But also, I think the guys ahead of him are just also insanely good. I don't really know if Derrick Henry's gotten worse, so much that those guys are just producing better. Number 2, we got Christian McCaffrey. So obviously he has a upside on Derrick Henry in his receiving game. I think everybody understands that. He's faster than Derrick Henry. He's more elusive than Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's stronger, more powerful, stiff arms people. I don't see Christian McCaffrey stiff arming a lot of people, but I think McCaffrey is slightly better than Derrick Henry. These top 3, top 4, top 5 even, I don't know. The top 7, honestly, going all the way down to Austin Ekeler, these are all insane running back talents. I could see you guys really changing up 1 through 7 in almost any order. But I do think that if you do not have Nick Chubb at number 1 running back in the league, there is something wrong with you. I think he is easily the best running back in the league. Not that it's not close, but that everyone recognizes that the battle between him and McCaffrey and Henry are all close. But I think everyone should recognize that Nick Chubb has a slight advantage. That's just it. That's just all I got to say about that. So with that said, Thank you for watching this video. I believe there should be other videos up already this week, and there should be more videos to come this week. I'm not completely sure what my upload schedule is for each of these videos, but I know there's going to be like 6 videos this week, so make sure you watch all 6 of them.